Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. So we are reading from fourth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam today, chapter 4, Sati quits her body. Text 22. Let's try. Naitrena dehena harekstagaso. Naitrena dehena hareksagaso. Naitrena dehena harektagaso. Dehodbhavenalam malam kujammanam. Dehodbhavenalam malam kujanmanam. Dehodbhavenalam malam kujanmalam. Vridamama butkujala prasangatas. Vridamama butkujana prasangatas. Vridamama butkujana prasangatas. Tajjanma digyo mahatam avadyakrit. Tajjanma digyo mahatam avadyakrit. Tajjanma digyo mahatam avadyakrit. Naitrena dehena hare krishagaso. Dehodbhavena lam alam kujanmanam. Vridamama butkujala prasangatas. Tajjanma digyo mahatam avadyakrit. Please. Naitena dehena hare kritagaso. Yomavena. Naitena dehena hare kritagaso. Dehodbhavena lam alam kujanmalam. Vridamama kujana prasangatas. Tajjanma digyo mahatam avadyakrit. Ladies. Naitena dehena hare kritagaso. Dehodbhavena lam alam kujanmanam. Ridamamadu kujana prasangatas. Tajamadikyo mahatam avadyakrit. Naitena dehena hare kritagaso. Dehodbhavena lam alam kujanmanam. Ridamamatu kujana prasangatas. Tajamadikyo mahatam avadyakrit. So we read word for word translation. Na, not. Etena, by this. Dehena, by the body. Hare, to Lord Shiva. Kritagasaha, having committed offenses. Deha udbhavena, produced from your body. Alam alam, enough, enough. Yes, enough. Okay. Kujanmana, with a contemptible birth. Contemptible. Yeah. That's a good question. Contemptible. Contaminated, is it? Contemptible. It's condemnable, but it's written contemptible.
No, it's a different word. Contemptible.
Contemptible. Jai. It means hateful, heinous, deserving contempt area. Thank you. It's condemnable. Yes. Okay. Thank you so much. Vridaha, shame. Mama, my. Abhut, was. Kujana prasangataha, from a relationship with a bad person. Tanjanma, that birth. Dik, shameful. Yaha, who? Mahatam, of the great personalities. Avadya krahit, an offender. Jai. Translation. You are an offender at the lotus feet of Lord Shiva, and unfortunately I have a body produced from yours. I am very much ashamed of our bodily relationship, and I condemn myself because my body is contaminated by a relationship with a person who is an offender at the lotus feet of the greatest personality. Joy. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Lord Shiva is the greatest of all devotees of Lord Vishnu. It is stated, Vaishnava Vaishnavanam Yata Sambhu. Sambhu, Lord Shiva, is the greatest of all devotees of Lord Vishnu. In the previous verse, Sati has described that Lord Shiva is always in a transcendental position because he is situated in pure Vasudev. Vasudev is that state from which Krishna, Vasudev, is born. So Lord Shiva is the greatest devotee of Lord Krishna. And Sati's behavior is exemplary because no one should tolerate blasphemy against Lord Vishnu or his devotee. Sati is aggrieved not for her personal association with Lord Shiva, but because her body is related with that of Daksha, who is an offender at Lord Shiva's lotus feet. She feels herself to be condemned because of the body given by her father Daksha. Cioè, Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadam Tikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Pada Kamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha E Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gora Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Uttara Srimad Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. Sorry. Okay. Thank you so much, dear Vaishnavas, for giving me this opportunity. I'm very grateful and humbled by this chance I had to be here and talking to you. Let's see what what I can tell you about. I mean, we will actually follow this amazing chapter, and yes, I will try to tell you what I could study a little bit these days. Well, first of all, yes, I can tell you it's an intense scene, as you can see. Yeah. Oh wow, no, it's all right. I mean, no, it's just because I move a lot, So, so yes, and yeah. So let me be honest with you. It's been a while. For me, it's been a I think, a couple of years. I didn't give class, I mean, honestly. So I'm super humbled. I wish I could hide somewhere, but it's okay. I will try my best. So, yes, so this verse, let's read it again, why not? Translation. You are an offender at the lotus feet of Lord Shiva, and unfortunately I have a body produced from yours. I am very much ashamed of our bodily relationship, and I condemned myself, because my body is contaminated by a relationship with a person who is an offender at the lotus feet of the greatest personality. Okay, definitely intense. So here you can see Sati Devi is talking, and she says 2 times, offender. Ooh, offender. She says, you are an offender, and I condemn myself because my body is contaminated by a relationship with a person who is an offender. Again, wow. So who is this offender, by the way? Here we are. Very nice. Daksha. And who is Daksha for Sati? Her papa? It's intense, isn't it? Yes. And she feels condemned. Then she says, yes, I condemned myself, and I am very much ashamed. Gosh. So, yeah, again, it's intense. She is saying she feels condemned and ashamed to be the daughter of her father. Hare Krishna. So, definitely we can see. Well, let me rewind a little bit. Let's see how we came here, because it's like, wow, how do we came here in the first place? It all started with a warning, because there are 3 people here involved in this scene. We have Sati, we have Daksha, and the third person is, yes, Lord Shiva. Thank you, Rosemary Joy. Yes, Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva, in the 3rd chapter of this canto, is kind of warning his wife. He's telling her, I'm just reading from text 24. Therefore, you should not see your father, although he is the giver of your body, because he and his followers are envious of me. And he goes on. Well, then he says, because of his envy, O most worshipful one, he has insulted me with cruel words, although I am innocent. So yes, Shiva is warning her, look. Then text 25, he says, in spite of this instruction, if in spite of this instruction you decide to go, neglecting my words, the future will not be good for you. Okay, so, well, we see that, well, actually, yes, there was a big warning there. It was there. But did she follow the warning? Not really, no. She decided to go. She wanted to go. We see then that at the beginning of chapter 4, that we see the state of mind in which Sati is. Text 1 says, her mind is unsettled. She moved in and out of the room as a swing moves, this way and that. So, okay, right. I like to go back in the Bhagavatam. It's so nice, Bhagavatam. It's telling you everything. So then, and then it says, text 2, Sati felt very sorry at being forbidden to go see her relatives at her father's house. Hare Krishna. This is the problem. Okay, without microphone. Very nice. No, it's working. Okay. So, yes. So she felt sorry. Then tears fell from her eyes. She was shaking and very much afflicted. And then she looked at her husband, Lord Shiva, as if she were going to blast him with her vision. I don't know if you... Yeah, this also is very intense, isn't it? She wants to... Yeah, she's mad. Can we say that? Yeah, she's pretty mad. She really wanted to go and see her relatives, you know. And so that she did, of course, we see. And now we are here, and she's speaking to her father in this way. But, you know, she has her reasons, of course. Because what did her father do to make her go so mad? Yes, very good. Yes. Yes. They were not invited. Gopi Gita, you were saying? Yes. Daksha, yes. He actually offended Shiva. Not only once, but a few times, actually. Shiva was offended. Let's see where. It's also in this chapter. Let's see. Okay, yes, here you are. There are many, you know, I mean, Sati is protecting, of course, her exalted husband. In text 11, she says, Lord Shiva is the most beloved of all living entities. He has no rival. No one is very dear to him, and no one is his enemy. No one but you could be envious of such an universal being who is free from all enmity. Yeah, well, now she's counteracting Daksha, of course, in this part. Yes. And then she also says, twice born Daksha, a man like you can simply find fault in the qualities of others. Lord Shiva, however, not only finding no faults with others' qualities, but if someone has a little good quality, he magnifies it greatly. Unfortunately, you have found fault with such a great soul. Yes. So, yeah, this is the counteraction that Sati gives for what Daksha said before. Yes, if I remember correctly, Daksha was saying how Lord Shiva, he lives in a filthy environment. His disciples are ghosts and goblins. He lives in a crematorium. You know, he's there, he's giving all these offenses. Then he says he doesn't have a residence. All these things. And on top of that, he didn't invite him to his sacrificial arena. You say sacrificial? Yes, I think so. And and this in itself is a big offense, because who do you invite to a big party? The big personalities, right? So Shiva is definitely one of those, as Sati says, is the one Well, and Srila Prabhupada tells us in the purport of our verse today, Lord Shiva is the greatest of all devotees of Lord Vishnu. So definitely, yes, we can say this. Proof of the exalted position of Lord Shiva is that an ordinary person would not have been able to accept the insults that Daksha rewarded to Lord Shiva. But Lord Shiva himself is so exalted that it didn't matter to him what Daksha was doing to him, because he is completely absorbed in Krishna. So there is the scene where he left the assembly very quietly and without retaliating, without saying anything, basically. It's just quietly leaving. It's all good. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we can see, I'm sure you spoke about Lord Shiva very much these days. I just want to say that, of course, yes, Shiva lives in a crematorium. There are ghosts and goblins around him. But this just is the proof that is transcendental to these material things, and proof that he is not an ordinary person, ordinary personality, but he is just the most compassionate. He doesn't mind having the association of these fallen entities, because he wants gradually, this is the goal of Lord Shiva, he really wants to gradually lift them up from where they are and take them to devotional service to Lord Krishna. That's how exalted he is. I mean, he's hanging out with entities that don't even have a body. Ghosts, they don't have a body. They just, they're spirits. They hang around looking for a body to enter inside. And at least this is my understanding. They just want to enjoy through another person's body. Well, I mean, that's pretty spooky, isn't it? It's like, ooh. But Lord Shiva doesn't mind. He is just, okay, no. Everybody deserves compassion and mercy. So, Hare Krishna. So I said a little bit about Lord Shiva. I don't know if you have any realization about Lord Shiva these days. I mean, it's been wonderful to go through studying a little bit this chapter. I wish I knew more about Lord Shiva, to be honest. But so thanks to this little push from somebody, I got to learn a little bit, and I'm very grateful. So what else can we say? I want to say also about Sati, of course. That's the other big character here. She's a very strong-minded lady, definitely. We see at the beginning of the chapter, though, that they also described her as a weak woman, isn't it? Yeah, let me find it. Yeah, when I read it, I was like, wow, that's heavy. Yeah. Here it is, yes. It's text 3. It says, this less intelligent act, which is the fact that she wanted to go to her father's place, this less intelligent act was due to her being a weak woman. Oh, yes. Okay. Then, of course, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains that this weakness is due to the fact that, that she should have followed her husband's warning, at least. Well, it was not a warning, it was actually like an injunction. But she, due to weakness, she was still attached to the members of her father's house. So she decided to go to Daksha's place instead. So this is described as weakness. So, she had her reasons. She wanted to see her family, of course, and she wanted to be part of the great ceremony with her sisters. So this is part, of course, of the pastime. But when we see that once she gets there, she is not really enjoying the party. She's not going wild or something, She's actually just kind of looking from afar, and the very first thing that she notices is, any idea? Yeah, Prabhu, please.
I'm not sure. I know different versions of the story, right. But what I know is that they are disrespecting a murti of Shiva, like throwing trash and rotten fruits and stuff like that. Like really actively disrespecting Shiva. That's what I heard.
Okay, Prabhu. Yes, that's right. He didn't treat Yes, very good. Yes. So, very first thing, Daksha didn't greet her daughter. He didn't say, hello, how are you doing? Everything fine for you? And of course, they didn't, as Prabhu was saying, they didn't share the offerings that were offered at the time to Lord Shiva. So there were many personalities, the offerings were given to all these personalities, but not to Lord Shiva. And this was really upsetting for her. Yeah, indeed. And so then we saw that Shiva is not only her husband, in this case, but he is an exalted devotee. Again, I will say what Srila Prabhupada writes is, Lord Shiva is the greatest of all devotees of Lord Vishnu. So, also Prabhupada in another instance, I just wrote it down in my notes, mentioned that although it is not nice to use these words toward your father, you can imagine, I'm ashamed to be your daughter. Wow, if I would say something like that to my father, poor man, he would break his heart. You cannot use such words, isn't it? But Prabhupada clarifies and says that her behavior is exemplary, because the person in question, Lord Shiva, is not ordinary person, but he is the topmost Vaishnava. So this behavior is exemplary. We can also say that, there are, another point of view. This I got from a nice lecture. I should quote the devotee Priti Lakshana Devidasi Mataji gave a wonderful lecture on this point, saying that from Brihad Bhagavatam Rita, Shiva, there is a quest in Brihad Bhagavatam Rita to find who's the most exalted Vaishnava, who is the most exalted devotee. And at some point, they arrive to Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is the topmost devotee in this material world. Because then, of course, the progression goes up, and the very topmost devotees are the gopis, of course, yes, the gopis, the topmost devotees of the Lord, yes. But Lord Shiva is the topmost devotee in this material world. So he is very compassionate. He is dealing with the material energy, yes. So, okay, going back to the verse, we are here witnessing Sati talking to her father and telling him, you are an offender. Yes, so, okay. So, according to the scriptures, there are 3 ways to deal with blasphemy. I think you spoke about this these days. Sati decides to go for what? So she witnessed the offense of her husband, and this is too much. I will quit my body. I will quit my body. Okay, this is one way. I don't know if you spoke about the other 2 ways during this. No? Yeah, Prabhu, go on.
I know that one other opportunity is cut out the tongue.
Very good. Yes, that's the one. Yes, you cut the tongue of the offender. So she could have cut her father's tongue. I mean, yeah, why not? Yeah, a bit extreme. Yeah, well, okay, it's there. This is another option. A third option. To defeat the other. Okay, could be. Yes, definitely. Yes, I found another one. Yes.
I believe the assembly
Here we are.
leave the body. It could be 1, but it could be also 2.
Okay. Yes.
Defeat and yeah, that's probably she said. I heard also about cutting out the tongue.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, the other option I found was leave the place. You leave the place. That is what Srila Prabhupada recommends to our, to us little tiny jivas, that if we witness something like that, somebody is speaking ill about an exalted devotee, we leave the association. We leave the place. That's what we should do. Okay. Because it's serious. It is very serious. It's like something will happen to you. There are consequences if you witness something like that and if you don't do anything. Okay, Sati knew this very, very well. So in my little study about this topic, I came up, for example, the beautiful episode of, well, beautiful, I mean, it's amazing example of Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur, this is written in Chaitanya Bhagavatam. When Haridas Thakur is brought to the Qazi, yeah, from the Nawab, yeah. And he goes in front of the Muslim ruler because he has become very popular. He has become, between the the place where he is governing. Can I say that? Anyway, okay. So the fame of Haridas Thakur is threatening the authority of the Nawab. So he has to do something about it. And so he brings Haridas Thakur in front of the assembly. And there, then Haridas Thakur was ordered to be beaten in 22 marketplaces. I don't know if you knew this episode. Okay. So Haridas Thakur he doesn't die because he has so much, he's constantly chanting the holy name of the Lord. And the soldiers are all, oh my God, he's not dying. Then the Kazi will come to us and he will kill us because we didn't fulfill his order, we didn't kill him. And so for the sake of the soldiers, Haridas Thakur goes into a trance and he looks dead. So they can throw him in the Ganges and say, okay, cool, we have done our thing, our duty is done. But then Haridas Thakur comes back to his, senses, come back to his senses, starts again chanting the holy name. And then he meets again the devotees after he comes back to his senses. And the devotees are like, oh my God, Haridas, this Kazi was so unfair to you. You're such an exalted devotee of the Lord. But Haridas Thakur, in his, of course, humility, but also is telling them, look, this happened because of a big reason. The Kazi, when he was talking in the assembly, he was constantly blaspheming the Lord. He was offending Lord Chaitanya in front of all these people. And I didn't do anything. I should have cut his tongue, or I should have killed myself. But I didn't do anything. So this being beaten in 22 marketplaces is just a tiny reaction from what I should, have had, because I didn't stop this blaspheming of Lord Gauranga. So yes, you can see, this is very heavy. I mean, even Haridas Thakur, our Nam Acharya, the Acharya of the Holy Name, had to face reactions because of the offenses that were made in front of him. I hope it makes you think. It made me think a lot. What to say? We should be very careful. Then, yes, this is the choice. The three choices are there, and Sati, of course, decides for the extreme one. She quits her body. Let me just conclude saying that, of course, Sati is no ordinary person like Lord Shiva. She is the eternal consort of Lord Shiva. So in her next birth, she comes back as Mother Parvati. So they will be together. They will be together again. So in this pastime, though, yes, the Bhagavatam wants to teach us to be very cautious of offenses, This, what else can I say? I think, let me say this one is very nice. So Shiva, there's also a nice pastime. I don't know if you've been to Mayapur. Who's been to Mayapur? Okay. Yes, all right. There is this nice pastime when, Parvati tells Shiva that she heard that Lord Gauranga is coming to this world and is giving love of Godhead unlimitedly to everybody. So she's like, no, I really want to see him. I really want to see you. Yes. And she decides to perform tapasya for, I don't know, years and years to see him. And so that's where she appears as Simantini Devi. I don't know if you've been to Rajapur in Mayapur, where Lord Jagannath is. Yes, you've been, yes. And just right there, there's a little pond, a lake, and just by the lake, there's a lovely murti of Simantini Devi. This is Parvati when she sees Lord Gauranga. She's just like, wow, I'm in total love of God herself, Yes, so these personalities are also there in the Chaitanya Lila, can you believe? It's like they're always there with Lord Krishna. So, they're simply not ordinary people. And yes, so in this, I will say I can conclude. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. If you want to share something, okay, yeah. Prabhu.
I have a question.
Okay. Right, yes, I will try my best, Prabhu.
Yeah, we spoke a lot about offenses, about aparadas. So I figured that today's topic is aparadas. My question is that sometimes it's very difficult to differentiate, and sometimes we get in a situation where, I don't know, like we don't. It's so much ingrained in our minds to criticize others that we don't even notice it sometimes, And sometimes we don't criticize the person, but we criticize certain things that person was doing. And then sometimes it's very difficult, like if you are in the association of some devotees, maybe even devotees who are older than you, and then especially for me as a young, like a beginner, it's very hard to differentiate. Are they just having a casual conversation, are they just is something internal, or is it something that I should be worried about and I should maybe better leave? This is really hard. So do you have any recommendations or something how we can figure out what to do? And because it's also like maybe like if I just stand up and go, I don't want to offend the devotees who are there, and maybe they think, oh, it's because of us or something like that. So yeah.
That's a very nice question, Prabhu. I mean, it's a sensitive topic, I feel. In this case, the offense is plain. It's very clear. It's like out there in front of everybody. There's no misunderstanding, let's say, here, yes. Daksha has spoken ill words about Lord Shiva, and also acted offensively yes. So yes, for us, this I can just tell you my experiences, my understanding. Well, first of all, I would say, I'll give you an example. It happened to me. Something like, I think 6 months ago or something like that. A devotee came to me. I cannot even say it, but okay, I will say it. And this devotee said, please forgive me. Did I offend you in some way? I feel like I offended you. I don't know how, I was looking this. I was like, really? Am I really offendable even? Come on, I'm just, let's just talk together about it. Yes, in these cases, if you feel you criticized, or you have a critical point of view, just, please be open. Let's be honest. Let's go to the devotee, If you really, you said something, but you regret it, you feel ashamed like hell, This also happened to me. Just go and ask forgiveness. Please ask forgiveness. The devotees are so merciful, and they know that we are here in this. Yeah, we are all in the same boat. We are here in Kali Yuga. We are so influenced by the three modes of material nature. They will understand you. They will give you a hug, and and then everybody will feel better. But keeping this critical mind, and it's like poison for everybody. Not only yourself especially, of course, but yes, also for the other person. So I wouldn't say you need to cut your tongue or no. Let's go for ask forgiveness. In case you hear somebody else. Then, as well, please, Prabhu. I heard you. Maybe in private, it's better, not in front of. Prabhu, look, the other day we were just having a chat. What's up? So, in a friendly manner. But then, if the person is not friendly, then something has to happen. So then, I better not be in association with this person. Don't feel it's good for me, for my spiritual life, So I don't know if, I'm looking at the senior devotees, if they want to add something on this topic. Yes, Prabhu, please.
I'm senior by age, maybe in the meantime.
Much more.
I don't know if this is an offense, actually. To call senior. I think what Julian is speaking about, I think I know where you're referring to. And it's a difficult thing because sometimes there are different levels of devotees, not in advancement but in association. Like sometimes you have devotees coming together, they are very good friends and they know each other from a long time, and they know they can understand if somebody is offending or if just speaking, revealing his mind in his heart. And this is sometimes, this is also recommended amongst devotees, amongst like-minded persons. So sometimes we may come in the association of like-minded devotees. Like, you maybe accompanying your Gurudev to his room, and on the way he met another Swami or another senior person. And they start to talk, and then comes maybe to some very diplomatic ISKCON politics matters issues, and you feel it should not really, it's not really for my ears, something, this is not really for me. So with that mood we can pray to be protected. If we cannot leave the situation, as you said, this could be also embarrassing. So, Guru, I don't want to hear this, whatever. May Guru understands, but, you are actually there for another purpose. You didn't want to sneak in the association. So one can pray to be protected from, that it doesn't harm our ears and heart and our bhakti. So therefore, this is something. And on the other hand, when there are, one is always allowed to express and say, sorry, I think this is not for my ears, plus, I have some service to do, and politely draw back out of the situation, retreat, have a retreat. So that is something. We have to see who is offending and criticizing in which sangha, and for what purpose. Is it the purpose of envy and to put somebody else down, or if it could be also the purpose of protecting a wider community, because sometimes there are some faults, there's some misunderstanding, some misinterpretation maybe, what has to be pointed out. And seniors actually also, they, in one sense, they have to deal with such things, because otherwise, a bigger harm could be done to the society. So, just some thoughts about this, where I slightly have maybe a little bit idea where you thought were going. I'm not sure if I'm right, but maybe that helps.
Hare Krishna. Yes, on this point, but slightly different. It's also interesting to see sometimes as a community, and talk about ours specifically, that sometimes devotees take some things that are referred in Shastra and then they make a very heavy way of showing it. In management, sometimes it may be, I've seen it many times, that there might be a devotee who goes and yells at somebody in management, and then that same devotee goes to another devotee in a community and starts crying and speaking about how badly they're treated. So the other devotee hearing that says, okay, I must defend this devotee, and then they also go yelling at management. So it's like and you think, well, actually it says there, we were in a class and it said actually we should not take the blaspheming of other devotees. So it's a very almost interesting or intricate topic in the way, that one, it's very nice to handle it sort of more in a sort of diplomatic sort of way. I also think if you're in the company of seniors and you're not sure if it was offense or not, then it's always good to maybe speak to others that you may trust who are also senior, to clarify for one's own vision. But certainly that level of cooperation, sometimes I think that Prabhupada says, about this point of cooperating together works better, so that we still see others in a loving eye, even when one has to be careful with anger, in this way of swift in the reaction. But as you say, this is a very dramatic, intense scenario. Most of us don't have such scenarios, luckily, to deal with.
Thank you so much.
Please, what do you think also?
Oh, yeah, no, thank you, for giving these insights. Yes, my tiny experience, luckily I've seen that, with communication, with the right attitude, of course, when you are angry, or when the moment is like just happening in front of you, you can be bewildered. So take your time, okay? Just assess your emotions, your feelings. Okay, this really happened? Did they really say something bad about that devotee in front of me? Oh, and then if this is the case, okay, maybe let's talk about it. Yes, and then, to me, this episode happened, and I didn't know what to do, because yes, this devotee thought that they offended me. I just look. You can do, I don't know even if I'm a devotee myself. Come on, how can you offend me? No, please, just tell me if something happened that we misunderstood each other or something, It can be too much drama. This, what this is the drama on the Bhagavatam, that this is the real drama. Offending an exalted devotee of the Lord, right? Or if they offend Srila Prabhupada, guys, there Yes, I've seen that. And I had to leave the but I could also, look afterwards with the eyes of, I was like, okay, let's be compassionate, because that person was not in a right state of mind. Really, like Tamaguna, Tamaguna was influencing very strongly the words and thoughts of this person. So, okay, it was there just to test, I guess, the persons that were there, the devotees. We were all shocked. We all understood, okay, this person we will not associate with this nonsense, right? At the same time, okay, compassion, because doesn't know what they're saying, I come from the Catholic, so Catholic faith, and there's Jesus that says when he's on the cross, they don't know what they're doing, So yeah, this is teaching that I keep in my heart. If people are too influenced by the mode of ignorance and passion, okay, it's not that we are better, of course, but so, and that's why let's leave. Let's just leave. Yeah, that's the best thing. Mm-hmm. So thank you so much, and it's time for Prashadam. Anuttara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Narasimha Prasada ki jai.